Welcome to you once more. Our next session is entitled An Integrated Transportation Sector Vision as an Enabler Economic Growth and Job Creation. This session will be presented by Tony Fernandez, the CEO of Asia Air. He is a graduate of the College of Epsom. He works as CEO of Asia Air Group since December 2001. Before joining Asia Air, he worked as financial director of Virgin company in London. Thereafter, he joined Warner Musical International in London in 1989. Following his promotion to the post of managing director of Warner Music in Malaysia in 1992, he has been appointed as the managing director, the regional managing director for Southeast Asia for the same company in 1996. The awards, and this is very exciting, received by Fernandez is the Order of the Leader of the British Empire, awarded to him by Queen Elizabeth II in 2011 for his services in the promotion of trade and educational links between the United Kingdom and Malaysia. In 2010, he received the Ordre national de la Légion d'honneur de France, awarded to him by the French government in 2010. Then he received the Ordre national de Commandeur de la Légion d'honneur in 2013. L'Ordre national de Commander de Légion, which is the highest award received by an non-French person for his intensive contribution to the sectors of cars and airplanes in France and in Europe in general. Fernandez was named one of the most innovative people in the world in 2011 by Fast Company magazine, which is issued in the city of New York and which is concerned with the sector of finance and business. He also received the award of the leaders of the business class passengers by CNBC in 2011. In 2013, Fernandez was named the Innovator of the Year by the Business Leaders Award of the CNBC channel. Please welcome with me Tony Fernandez.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to tell you a little bit about how I started AirAsia with my partner and how we've created lots of jobs, lots of economic development in Southeast Asia since we started this airline. I actually had no experience in the airline business. I came from the music business and was not prepared for any of this. So I think my message to the youth of Saudi Arabia is that actually you can do anything you want to if you put your mind to it. 12 years I was in the music industry, and then I had the idea of setting up AirAsia with my partner. Sorry, how does this work? Down? Okay. Sorry, I'm very low cost, not used to this high-tech stuff. Anyway, that's me and my partner 12 years ago when we started AirAsia. We started with 2 planes and 200,000 passengers in the first year. I bought the airline from the government. AirAsia was owned by the government, a government corporation. I bought it for 25 cents and about 10 million ringgit, so about $5 million of debt. It's a funny story. When I went to see the owners of the airline and I had the idea, I said, could I buy this airline? And they said, yeah, sure, you can have it tomorrow. And I thought, interesting. And then they said, how much do you want to buy it for? And I said, 1 ringgit, which is 25 cents. And they still said, yeah, you can have it tomorrow. And I thought, damn, I should have said, pay me to take this airline away. But that's how we started. We signed the deal on September the 9th, 2001. 3 days later, 9/11 happened. So that's the start of my amazing business with the airline. So that was the old AirAsia. It was blue and green and had a bird. We decided to change the logo and move it to red. We think all airlines have animals with their airline. So we decided to drop the bird. If you think of the biggest brands in the world, they generally have one image. If I say Nike to you, you're thinking of the swoosh. If I say Coca-Cola, you're thinking of Coca-Cola. So we decided that get rid of the bird and change our color to red. And that was what AirAsia, we transformed it in a very quick period. Over the last 12 years, we have had an amazing growth story. We started with 200,000 passengers, and this year we will carry 50 million passengers. And we have been through every calamity known to mankind. We started with 2 planes, and now we have 150 planes. We now have airlines in Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, and hopefully very soon, next week in India. And we're about to start in Japan. It has been not easy doing this. As I said, we went from 2 planes to 150, but we had every single problem put in front of us. We had to deal with national airlines, we had a lot of regulations, we had so many disasters. We had SARS, bird flu, tsunami, earthquakes, revolutions, but we always found a way, and I think the spirit of the company is amazing, and the people in the organization is our secret. And we started with 200 staff, and we now have 15,000 staff, and very young people, most of them their first jobs, and I will talk to you mostly in my presentation about that. Our key is being the lowest cost airline in the world. Lowest cost means lowest fare. Per hour, we charge about $25 per hour. So a 2-hour flight would cost $50, 50 US dollars. That's how we've stimulated the market. By keeping costs very low, we've been able to have very low fares, and people who never afforded to fly before can now fly. The tagline I came up with was, now everyone can fly. And the beauty is, you know, if every car in Jeddah was a Rolls Royce, the car market would be very small. If every hotel was a 5-star hotel, the market would be very small. Same with airlines. If it's only full service premium airlines, then you only have a very high end of customer, and hence the tourism market doesn't develop. By having low-cost carriers, we have opened up the market dramatically to be able to have huge amounts of tourism and hence create lots of jobs as well. So over the last 12 years, this is just in ASEAN, we've created 31.5 million extra tourists. We carry 50 million people, of course there's domestic tourism, but just within ASEAN, which is Southeast Asia, we've carried 31.5 million people last year, and this year will be 38 million, contributing $247 million to airports and $6 billion to the Southeast Asian market in tourism. And obviously, since we have started, many, many other low-cost carriers have emulated us and carried on. This gives you, I said earlier, we have 12,500 jobs within ASEAN. If you add our total workforce, 15,000. These are all new jobs. They're not cannibalization, and all the tourists we've created are new tourists. So it shows by innovation, you can create a whole new market that just wasn't there before. So how did we do it? Really, it's people. I think that's our biggest asset in this company. We have no unions. As I said, we have over 12,500 staff in total, about 14,000 now. It's a very equal opportunity company, meritocracy. We have a very deep management structure, and there's a real can-do attitude. People can do anything that they want to do in this airline. That enables us to have a very fluid structure and a very talented workforce, and I think that's our huge advantage. Having low cost, anyone can do low cost, but making sure that people understand what drives the low cost and good communication skills is what we've been very good at. So I'll just tell you a little bit about our people. You know, once a month, I'm a cabin crew. Once every 2 months, I carry bags. Once every 3 months, I check in. I do that for 2 reasons. One, I don't think you can be an effective CEO unless you go down to the ground and know exactly what's going on in the airline. 2, for me to grow from 2 planes to 150 planes, I required a lot of talent. And I had to create that talent myself, and I had to create that talent unconventionally. I couldn't just wait for the government to create the talent. So when I was carrying the bags, you know, and I'll give you two examples of what it meant when I carried bags. So when I carried the bags, we used to have 737s, and we just throw the bags into the plane. Actually, not throw the bags, lovingly put the bags, nice bag, and put it into the plane. And when we went on the Airbus, it was slightly higher, and you couldn't just move the bags manually. So my team wanted to buy belt loaders, and I said, no, you can't buy belt loaders, it's too expensive. And so the next time I carried bags, they put me on the flights, which were really, people who fly on us carry a lot of bags. And I almost broke my back in the process of carrying these bags. And I said, okay, I'm wrong, you're right, we'll go and buy belt loaders. So I think it's key that as senior management, you have to go down to the shop floor and realize what's going on. Secondly, I found that there was a lot of very smart kids in my company who just didn't have money for further education. So I said, for the first cadet pilot program, I said it doesn't matter whether you went to school at 13 or left at 15 or had a university degree. If you want to be a pilot, we will give you a chance. And of the first 18 cadets, 11 came from within the company. And some of them had left school when they were 13 years old, but were much smarter than myself, just never had a chance to go for further education. My pilots were great. They taught some of these young boys a chance to take the pilot's exams. And in our first bunch of graduates, as I said, 11 came from within the company. And some of them had left school when they were 13. And one boy from East Malaysia, he took the exams, he left school when he was 12, and he had the highest marks ever in Malaysian Flying Academy. And just last month, he became a captain in AirAsia. So I think the potential to develop people is enormous, and I think that's been our skill set, that we have never let talent go to waste. There is always talent in your organization. We've had boys who are now CEOs. They started in the call center. We just break the rule. And I think in any organization, for us to have grown from 2 planes to 150 planes, if we didn't take this innovative approach to how we dealt with people, then I think we wouldn't have had this issue. Sorry. And here's another example. We didn't have female pilots anywhere in Southeast Asia. And I said to my chief pilot, why don't we have female pilots? And he came up with a crazy answer. And I said, if a woman can run a country, she can fly a plane. And now we have 82 female pilots. And again, this allows us to grow quicker. And the other day was history. The captain was female, the co-pilot was female, all the cabin crew were female, and all the passengers were male. That last bit's not true. But I think what I'm trying to say is that we've utilized talent as much as possible and gone all over to try and get the right number of people. The other thing that we did is we created a lot of new routes that were never there before in terms of the traditional airlines. 50% of our routes are routes that are brand new, and by having low fares, we were able to stimulate new markets and hence stimulate new growth sectors as well. And you'll see on this map, of the 80 destinations and 170 routes, 60% of those routes are routes that were never done before by Singapore Airlines or Malaysian Airlines or Cathay Pacific. I think that's the beauty of low-cost carriers, that's the beauty of marketing, that's the beauty of innovation. Innovation is just not about technology. Innovation is about how you manage your people, innovation is about how you develop new markets and new tourism markets. I know there's a big drive in Saudi for tourism, and what we did was create new flows of tourism by creating new routes completely. And I think we used marketing very aggressively, very aggressively to get where you want. We sponsored Manchester United, very painful for me because I hate that football club, but you know, once in a while you've got to do something. I own a football club that unfortunately lost 3-0 yesterday, Queen's Park Rangers, so I was sulking all last night. But we've used branding to a very high level to get our message across. We would never have gone from 2 planes to 150 without a lot of marketing spend. We sponsored Formula One, we're in MotoGP, we do a lot of music events, and that has made AirAsia a much larger brand than it was 12 years ago. 12 years ago, not many people knew about us. Now lots of people knew about us. We sponsored the referees. You know, we beat Emirates, which is a far richer airline than us, to sponsor the English Premier League referees. And this is how we've been able to build our brand. And I think technology, and I think this is the message that I give young entrepreneurs in Saudi, and I saw some booths outside. The ability for AirAsia to compete with Malaysian Airlines and Singapore Airlines and all these very big airlines initially was the use of technology. So I urge all entrepreneurs, the way to catch up and sometimes overtake the incumbents is the use of technology. At AirAsia, when we first started in Malaysia, no one used the internet for travel. It was never done. And we were the first people to put airline tickets on the internet. And today, 80% of our business is done on the internet. And people said, oh no, they won't use the internet, they're not safe, they're worried about security, credit cards, etc. I said, look, if you put a low fare there, people will find their way to the technology. And now we're pushing everything onto the mobile platform. We really believe mobile is the future, and all 700 million people in Southeast Asia have mobile technology. So we think that's a great way for young entrepreneurs to catch up with established by using technology. Also, we've automated wherever we can. Very soon on AirAsia, you won't have a boarding pass. Everything will be on the phone. Your boarding pass, your check-in, you'll be able to buy your food, etc., all online. So as I said, technology has been a great enabler for us to catch up with the established airlines. And I think social media is another way of building our brand. We're the largest Facebook site in the world as an airline, with now 5.5 million members. We have 1.6 million on Twitter. It's a great way to interact with our audience, interact with the public, both good and bad. We get lots of complaints. I myself, on Twitter, I have 800,000 people that follow me. And it's not always good. There's lots of complaints on there as well. But at least people have access to me and they can complain. So again, as a new entrepreneur in building up your brand against very, very established brands, social media gives you a wonderful opportunity to catch up and engage. And sometimes the larger companies can't adapt as fast. So it's great for young entrepreneurs to use social media to build their brand. I just want to spend 2 more minutes on marketing and branding. I think too many young companies too many good ideas and too many great products never get heard because of a lack of marketing. And I think young entrepreneurs must make sure that they put enough of a budget into letting people know what their businesses are. I have seen too many businesses fail because just people don't know about this business. Too much money is put on the product and not enough money is put in terms of allowing people to market. And that's why we spent a huge amount of our budget on branding and marketing and sponsoring Manchester United and all these other things that I mentioned earlier. And from AirAsia, we have spun off many other businesses and created many other entrepreneurs just like ourselves. We started a budget hotel chain, Tune Hotel, which was a natural follow-on, and we are in the process of building one in Saudi right now, a 500-room hotel, which the average room rate is about 30 US a night. So again, it's all about serving the underserved. We have financial services, Tune Money, we have insurance, Tune Insurance, and we have online portal. AirAsia is a short-haul airline, 0 to 4 hours, and we created a long-haul airline called AirAsia X, which now flies to Jeddah from Kuala Lumpur. Our average fare to Jeddah is about $160, which really stimulates the whole market. So if you think a 7-hour journey, 8-hour journey actually, from Kuala Lumpur to Jeddah, one way is about $150, $160, which shows you how we opened up the market. And people who never dreamt about coming to Kuala Lumpur now can. And very soon we're starting to Jeddah. And when you come from Kuala Lumpur, you can then fly to Phuket, to Bali, and all these other places for about $20. So it's about lowering fares, opening up the market, and creating new demand. And on the right-hand side, we've created a real e-commerce platform where we have our own Amazon, which is big retail. We have our own Netflix, which is a big tune box, and our own duty-free product. So we really believe in the e-commerce world, and I think that's tremendous opportunities for young entrepreneurs and established entrepreneurs in the Gulf. I think that will conclude my presentation, but I'll end on a couple of points that, you know, I started this airline with literally me and my partner, who's here, who just returned from Mecca. We started this airline with $500,000. That's all the money we had. We had no experience, very little financial resources, but we had passion and we had an idea, and we got some support in the early days from Tun Mahathir, and we had tremendous staff. So I think to all the young entrepreneurs out here, you can do anything that you want if you put your mind to it. We dreamt big. We never believed we would get as far as we did, from 2 planes to 150 planes. But it's amazing what you can do when you put your mind in it. And running an airline is a tough business. I've been through every crisis known to mankind. But there's always a way out of the crisis. And I'll tell you, during SARS, no one wanted to fly. They all thought they were going to die if they flew. And most airlines cut their flights during SARS. But I said to my marketing team, no, this is the best time to build our brand. Triple our advertising now and reduce the fares, because I know Malaysians. If you put the fare low enough, they will risk their lives. Okay. At 200 ringgit, no, I don't want to go, it's SARS. At 50 ringgit, who cares about SARS? I'm flying. So I think the message to all the entrepreneurs out there, it's tough, it's hard, but the satisfaction of building your business is great. Never give up. Make sure you have a marketing budget and live your dream. You only have one life, and so you might as well make the most of it. You don't want to sit there at 55 and say, I wish I did it. It's too late. You can't rewind. So try, and if you fail, try again. Because, as I said, you want to have no regrets. Be positive. And for me, the best thing about AirAsia is that we've created so many careers and so many jobs and given so many people a better life since we've been around. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for inviting me today. And I hope many of you will fly on AirAsia in the future. Thank you very much. I'm early, like my airline. I have 5 minutes more. So if there are any questions that you may want to ask me, I've been asked by organizers for 5 minutes of questions.
طبعا كما أشار الأستاذ توني سير توني دكتور توني إلا إذا كان هناك مداخلات واسمحوا لي بأن أبدأ. You heard the translation well, nice. طيب. اسمحوا لي أن أبدأ أنا بالسؤال الأول. سيد فرنانديز قلت بأن اشتريتم الشركة من الحكومة الماليزية ب
There's no translation.
There is no translation?
No.
طيب.
I can. Very good.
الآن هناك ترجمة. طبعا هو تحدث بأنهم قاموا بشراء الشركة بمبلغ زهيد جدا ولو كانت أتيحت له الفرصة لاشترى ربما بالمجان. ولكن كيف استطاعت الشركة النجاح بالفعل في ظل وجود هذه التحديات؟ وهل كان للحكومة الماليزية أو التسهيلات التي وفرتها الحكومة دور في نجاح هذه الشركة؟ شكرا.
The first question is really you have to have a product that people want. That's the first thing. If you have a product that people want, that's 50% of the battle. So obviously, if you reduce your airfares, most people want to fly. So that was the key. Then discipline. The key thing about if you see airlines, they have so many businesses. They have first class, business class, long haul, short haul, sometimes turboprop. They have kitchens, they have maintenance repair organizations. Some of them have hotels. It means that the business is always short of capital because you've got so many different business. So focus is very important. We have the same model for 12 years. A320s, up to 4 hours, 25-minute turnarounds, one class. It makes the product very easy. So I think, number one, have a product that you want, have focus, great marketing, use technology, and have great people. Most important is people. It's not about one person or two people, it's about the whole company. And it's very hard for me to describe, but if you come to AirAsia, everyone who's come to AirAsia, they're amazed at the energy in the company. I don't have an office, I just have a desk. I don't dress up. I dressed up today, but generally I'm in jeans and t-shirt. And most times airport security think I'm an illegal immigrant. But if you look worse than your staff, then they have more comfort talking to you. Sometimes when you wear a suit, like I'm intimidated by your suit right now. But if you look worse than me, I would feel very easy. The second,
give it to you for free after this session.
The second question, did the Malaysian government help me? Wow, tough question to answer. But the Malaysian government owned Malaysian Airlines. I think Tun Mahathir initially really believed in our airline, and I think we owe him a lot. We made a presentation to him, and he said, this is a great idea. He knew about low cost. He said, you have my blessing. Whether the whole civil service and the infrastructure really assisted us, I would say no. Because they were so tied in with Malaysian Airlines. Because it's a government-owned airline and the civil service knew them. Now, I think it's different. After 12 years, the government sees the benefit in AirAsia and sees MAS. The government, through its airport company, has just built us a low-cost terminal, which is bigger than the Malaysian Airlines terminal. So it's taken a while. I always say first I was like an adopted child. Now I'm kind of in the family, just about. You have to compliment the Malaysian government, because in the end, it's not easy when you own something and you see a young upstart. Tun Mahathir had the vision, but then he left soon, and I think your guest tomorrow, Tun Badawi, actually also helped us a lot along the way. So tough in the beginning, but now I think we're part of the family.
شكرا لك سيد توني. الآن نترك المجال للأخوة في القاعة للمداخلة.
There's a question there. Yeah. There's a question over there.
Thank you, Mr. Fernandez. My name is Turki Hussein Fadak. أنا محلل مالي من شركة البلاد المالية. سؤالي قطاع النقل قطاع مهم جدا، لكن شركات النقل الجوي في منطقة الخليج تحديدا خلال عقود من السنين كانت تعتمد على الدعم الحكومي. السؤال في الأحوال المعيارية ما هي النسب المئوية لتكلفة الوقود بالنسبة لرحلات الطيران إذا كانت قصيرة الأجل أو طويلة الأجل؟ شكرا.
For me, oil makes up 45% of our cost. It's a large part of our cost. When I started AirAsia, oil was $30. Now it has gone up to $130, jet oil. But our margins have got better. There's always ways of reducing costs and finding efficiencies. So I think airlines that blame oil or require government support, I think is a problem. I think subsidies, sometimes an industry needs some subsidies. The problem is it becomes like you're so used to it. It's like a drug. And it's very hard to take those subsidies out. And I think governments should make airlines efficient and stand on their own 2 feet. And those subsidies are better spent in education and other forms of infrastructure. Sir.
Thank you for the interesting speech. My name is Amra Abbas. A couple of questions. The first one is about your marketing. Specifically, I'd like to get some more information about your focus on your marketing mix. And the second question is about your marketing budget. How much would you say percentage of sales, or if you can declare a figure, was your marketing budget? Thank you.
Sure. I mean, right now, it's about 3%. At the beginning, it was much higher, at about 10%, as we were starting off. And so that's what I say to startup companies: don't try and allocate too little. My marketing mix, I think this is an important part. It's a great question, actually. A large element was on branding. So people understood what AirAsia was. Because when I started as a low-cost carrier, people thought we were not safe. You could be flying next to a chicken, you could be standing, you know, all kinds of things. So we spent a lot of money on the brand, and it would be between 40% on brand and 60% on strategic, which was price-driven. And then within that, it was normally press, which moved to TV, and now we do a lot on the internet. Okay. Last question. Yes, sir.
السلام عليكم. الدكتور صالح النصار. قطاع النقل من أقل القطاعات في عملية التوظيف الوطني، وهذا نواجهه نحن في المملكة العربية السعودية. هل هناك خصائص أو مواصفات خاصة للمشاركة في عملية التوظيف في قطاع النقل عموما وقطاع النقل الجوي خصوصا، وكيف مرت الخطوط الماليزية بهذه التجربة للتغلب على التوظيف الأجنبي وإحلال التوظيف الوطني؟ شكرا.
I'll answer the first question first. AirAsia was all locals. We never hired any foreigners. It's not a difficult business if you really get into it. And we've continued that that focus. Everyone has come from within the country of Thailand, Malaysia, etc. We did have one founding shareholder who came from an airline called Ryanair, and he helped in the model. In terms of employing people, I think it's an interesting question because most of us came from not the airline business. And I think that made us think differently. I was from music business. Actually, I'm a musician. I play keyboards, and my partner plays bass guitar. So that maybe was why our airlines were more musical and a little bit different. So I think airline, when you recruit people, and I've done that throughout my career, I don't just look at what their experience is in terms of industry experience. I look at their experience in terms of what they've done outside. And I think sometimes companies need to look for different ideas, not just from the aviation industry. And I think too many airlines will only hire people from the aviation industry. My marketing team, not one person has come from the aviation industry. My social media team, no one from the aviation industry. So I think you need a good mix. I'm not sure it works for everybody, but it worked for us. I have to leave now because my flight's about to depart. So I'll see you later at another panel. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope it was useful. Thank you.
طبعا نشكر السيد فرنانديز، ونحن هنا في منتدى جدة الاقتصادي تهمنا الأعمال قبل كل شيء. ليس ضروريا سيد فرنانديز أن تلبس بدلة أو كرافتة أو حتى مشلحا ليتم تقديرك. شكرا لك على هذا الحضور، ونقدر نجاح شركتكم إير آسيا. رجاء التكرم الآن بقبول هذه الدرع التذكارية من الغرفة التجارية والصناعية، يسلمها السيد نصار السلمي عضو مجلس إدارة الغرفة. شكرا لك مرة أخرى سيد فرنانديز.